Hey, 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 happy Monday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang channel. Welcome back, eh? I'm back. Did you miss me? Anyway, this is brought to you by, amazingly enough, thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So if this is your first time checking out the stream, let me point out, super casual, just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news, and then taking a look at a tabletop game. So today I'm going to unbox and take a first look at Founders of Teotihuacan from Board and Dice. So this is hitting stores this week, and I believe next week as well. All depends on where you're at. But it is making its way into stores as I speak. So, of course, we're going to be taking a peek at that in just a bit. I also do want to point out, if you've never caught the stream before and you're tuning in for the unboxing, please keep in mind we're going to talk about the latest in tabletop gaming news first. Then we make our way to the unboxing. But if you are watching 30 minutes or more after this stream ends, there are timestamps. You can skip ahead if you don't want to catch the tabletop gaming news, although there's a lot of cool stuff we're going to talk about. Anyway, keep that in mind. You got timestamps, and depending on what device you're using, they're either going to be in the show notes, or they might even be on the timeline of the video as you're watching. So keep that in mind as well. So tonight is Monday, April 25th. 2022. This is live stream 778. Wow. Whole lot. Uh-oh. Madman says that this is freezing. Ooh, yeah. It's looking like we're getting some drop frames here. And no audio with the drop frames. So let's see what's going on here. So it's not showing any more drop frames. So I'm wondering, Madman, chime in to let me know if the video is still freezing. Because it seems like it may have just been a quick hiccup at the beginning of the stream. I'm not sure, though. Yeah, it's just showing the same number of drop frames. So let me know if the stream's doing all right. Weird. We hadn't had any real issues with frames dropping or anything like that in quite a while, at least about a month. So, sure, take a short hiatus and then suddenly it's dropping frames. Yeah, it looks like nothing else has changed. So it looks like we might be okay. What I could do is, I can start the stream from scratch. That's not a big deal. We're only 4 minutes in anyway. So I think that's what I'll do. But the thing is, I do have to pause for about 5 minutes so that good old YouTube will make this part as a separate video. Otherwise, if I start streaming quickly again, then, so Omanal says they don't see an issue now either. All right, so we had a little hiccup here in the beginning. So so Madman says they came back in and everything is fine. All right, well, fingers crossed. We'll keep our fingers crossed here that we don't have any other issues. Anyway, as I was saying, today is Monday, April 25th, 2022, live stream 778. Should mention, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And of course, if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. Also let you know when I upload other videos such as my look at, in fact, there's two videos. One is a first look. The other, it's not a review, but it's a review of the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game playtest rules from Marvel. So, if you have not taken a peek, and you're kind of curious about this, you will learn what I think. Nah. Not going to give anything away. So, all right. Anyway, don't forget, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Should point out, this is a live stream. So that means chat is available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways to keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you want to say howdy, if you got a question, a comment, chime in. I'll do my best to respond. So first out the gate was the Madman. Yes, the Motor City Madman himself is with us in chat. He is one of our chat moderators. And I should point out that the Madman's daughter is going to be reviewing PDFs for me, role-playing game PDFs for the Gaming Gang. And I actually gave her her first assignment. It's a 900-page core book. No joke. Of course, it's Weird Frontiers, and it's based on Dungeon Crawl Classics. So the reality is like 700 pages are like tables and like spells and monsters and things like that. So it's not like 900 pages of rules. It is not Advanced Squad Leader that I gave to the Madman's daughter to review. All right, Omanal's with us as well. Coco B is here. Testy Trekkie says Marvel is not so marvelous. At least with the multiverse role-playing game, that's for sure. All right, I think I've said hello to everybody who's in chat so far. Sweet. So, wee bit of news. During the hiatus, the Gaming Gang received its 1 millionth view on YouTube. Yes, the 1 millionth view of our videos on the channel. So I thought, that's kind of cool. I like that. I think we are right now about 30 subscribers away from 7,000. So that's cool as well. So, but I was really surprised by the million views. And the reality is about 600,000 of those views have come in like the last 2.5 years. Because I really didn't do a whole lot on the channel. Not like I do now. I mean, it was basically, okay, I got a YouTube channel and, you know, I upload reviews from time to time. Now it's quite different. So I think the past year we had 250,000 views. So not too shabby, not too shabby. Okay, so who was it? Was it Coco B asking, saying that they're looking forward to, yes, to hearing me say Teotihuacan multiple times. I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm not positive. I could have swore that I looked it up one day, and that is the pronunciation. So Omanal says, to be fair, the numbers of, I guess, probably subscribers have doubled since they started checking out the show. Doug Roberts is with us, by the way. Welcome aboard, Doug. Welcome back. All right, so let's jump on into the news, because this fall, WizKids is going to be releasing a Dungeons and Dragons skirmish level miniatures game. Here's a wee bit of info about Dungeons and Dragons Onslaught. Dungeons and Dragons Onslaught is a competitive skirmish game in which each player controls an adventuring party from one of the powerful factions of the Forgotten Realms. Parties delve into dungeons, battle rival adventurers, and confront fearsome monsters on a quest for treasure and glory. In more detail, D&D Onslaught is a scenario-based combat game in which you collect treasure, level up, and bring powerful abilities to bear using dice rolls, upgrade cards, and the new combat dial card system to keep track of the action. The core set of Onslaught includes material for 2 players, including 12 characters from 2 factions, the Harpers and the Zentarum, and a horde of monsters, 21 pre-painted figures in all. I do want to point out some of them are fairly big. We got a dragon in there. I think it's a black dragon. So, Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught is for 2 players, ages 14 and up, plays in around 90 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $139.99 when it arrives in September. So, the good is 21 pre-painted minis of varying sizes. It does look like we've got some smaller figures like kobolds. And some of the characters look to be halfling size, gnome size, dwarves, and such. But 21 figures for $140, that's not a bad deal, especially if the pre-paint jobs look as good as they do in these images. On the flip side, no terrain. It's all just cardstock. So that's all it is. These are the extras, I believe, that we're taking a look at right here. And Dungeons and Dragons has not made for a good miniatures game yet. I don't believe. So I'm kind of curious. I remember years ago, D&D came out. This is when I was actually just starting the gaming gang. They came out with these box sets for a skirmish level game, and it was like, meh. Homenal asks, chainmail doesn't count? Well, TSR days, chainmail is D&D. So, yeah, okay, I'll give it that much. I gotta be honest, I didn't really check out many of the Dungeons and Dragons miniatures games that came along. There was one. I'm trying to remember who it was from. I think did fairly well. And it was the same company that did the Star Wars pre-painted miniatures. I don't think it was WizKids. I think it was somebody else. But yes, as Doug points out, the figures look good. Yeah, I agree. They do. They do look nice. They look pretty cool. On to the next news piece. Arriving this fall from Pegasus Spiele is Sky Mines. And here's what I know. 50 years ago, humanity started mining the moon and the asteroid belt. For decades, this task was firmly held by the world government and its contractors. Recent unrest collapsed this enterprise, leaving it open for those willing to take the risk. Now, adventurous companies and private investors look to revive this mining network and claim the profit. In Sky Mines by Alexander Pfister and Victor Kobilki, players are savvy investors seeking to earn the most crypt coin through careful and strategic action. Yeah, there's no dollars anymore. It's all crypto. Invest mined resources into various corporations and spread outposts from base stations to increase their value and rake in the profit. Support the research of scientists to boost the earnings even further. Sky Mines is a Euro game for 1 to 4 experienced players with deep player interaction and a card management system that requires clever planning. With 4 different companies, each with their own special abilities, players can choose how much to invest in each and where to diversify their holdings. Featuring a double-sided game board and variable components, each game will bring the opportunity to explore different synergies and strategies. Players can also experience an included campaign mode and 2 special modules. Sky Mines is for 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, plays in around 75 to 150 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $69.99 when it arrives in September. This looks kind of cool. I am a big fan of just not even just games, but I mean, even like The Expanse, right? One of the things about The Expanse I thought was fascinating, especially early on, is the belters and the asteroid mining and things like that. I find that to be very, very interesting. So this piqued my interest when I saw this is coming later on this fall. So could be very, very interesting. Monte Cook Games currently has a crowdfunding project that has blown past the $1.4 million funding mark. And they're looking to bring the award-winning eldritch horror podcast, Old Gods of Appalachia, to your tabletop. I've got the skinny. So here's the thing. So I've heard over my lifetime, I've heard people refer to it as Appalachia, which is how I always pronounce it, and Appalachia. So I am going to stick to Appalachia. The things that once slumbered in the hills and hollers, beneath the earth and beyond the eye, have begun to wake. They stir and breathe. They see you and know your innermost heart, those long dark tunnels of pain and sorrow and secrets. They call to you in voices deep and dark, voices ancient and unknowable, voices full of pain and promises, and no way to tell between the two. Come to us, those voices say. We have only just begun. Cue the, Carpenter's song. The Old Gods of Appalachia role-playing game is a complete standalone tabletop RPG driven by the Cypher system, the popular, critically acclaimed game engine lauded for its elegance, ease of use, flexibility, and narrative focus. Intuitive character creation, fast-paced gameplay, and a uniquely GM-friendly design make the Cypher system perfect for the world of Old Gods of Appalachia and a joy to run and play. Cypher system characters are built from the concept up. A descriptive sentence provides not just an easily understood overview of the character, but also the mechanical basis for skills, abilities, and stats. And the Cypher system gives players amazing narrative engagement, rewarding player-driven subplots, and giving players resources to bear on the tasks and situations they most want to succeed at. There is a I shouldn't say short, because it's about 4.5 minutes long. There is a preview video from the Kickstarter that I am going to share with you because it's going to give you a really, really good feel for what this role-playing game is all about. I like Testy Trek. He says, Cypher can be a cipher to run and play. Yeah, for some reason, the way they presented that, the way they phrased it, run and play. Okay, get out there, run and play. All right, so kick back, take a peek at the preview video, and learn more about Old Gods of Appalachia.
The woods are thick here, a tangle of ancient trunks and limbs that groan and sway like lungs breathing their last desperate gasps. But these trees, moss-etched and rife with the hungry mouths of 1,000 more hungry insects, these broken fingers grasping for the moon-hung sky, these trees are not what you or I would even understand as being alive. See, that would be far too simple. This cursed clutch of branch and shadow is something else entirely, something born of blood and betrayal, nurtured with petty thoughts and poison promises. You breathe, they breathe. And through them, beneath them, all around them, and therefore you, something else emerges. From all the tales you were told and all the books you read and all the ones who said, don't go, you expected darkness. And she is light. Ball lightning come to earth, tendrils touching each tree like a long-lost lover arrived home at last, the earth beneath her cracking deep as it gives itself up to her. Forward she moves, or maybe she moves you. And when she stops, or you stop, or the world stops, there are no woods, no grove, nor ground. There is only her and you and what comes next. Dazzled, your mind says mother. Dazzled, your mind says beloved. Your mind says run and retreat and know this is what you have come for. She is who you have come for. She lifts her blinding head, one eye black and deep as a coal mine, and she says, ask. What do you do, family?
I reach into my bag and I pull out the offering that we made. My hands are shaking and I can't see, but I hold it up and I start reciting the passage that we memorized. I'm trying to get everyone else to join me so she'll take our offering. I'm trained in social interactions and I'm using my ability to deal with the devils to be even more persuasive. It gives me a free level of effort.
So you're decreasing the difficulty by 2, and I'll give you an asset on the offering for a total of 3. Make a roll to see if you succeed.
I rolled a 12.
You feel a pressure under your skin, a fierce roiling of energy that brings your hair to stand and makes your eyes feel like all the moisture has been cried from them. One heartbeat and you're standing there in the burning light, holding the offering, and the next, it's gone from your hands. Taken. You think this means it's been accepted, but she says nothing, merely watches and waits. What do the rest of y'all do?
The Old Gods of Appalachia role-playing game contains the complete game rules, including everything you need to create and play characters, dozens of creatures and NPCs, and an in-depth exploration of the region and its lore, adventures, and more. The Cypher System game rules are easy to learn, play, and run. More importantly, the Cypher System is elegant, fast-paced, and specifically built for the sort of narrative storytelling and character focus that will make your Old Gods of Appalachia adventures shine like a lantern in a coal mine. Back this Kickstarter family to get unique rewards like the Limited Deluxe Edition. Help us bring Old Gods of Appalachia to gaming tables everywhere to make this game as unique and memorable as the stories that inspire you, and the stories you will spin.
The Old Gods of Appalachia role-playing game Kickstarter project is already nearly at the $1.4 million mark. I thought it had passed it already, but I guess it's right on the verge of passing it as I speak. You can reserve a copy of the core book in hardcover for a $70 pledge, or score just the PDF for a $25 pledge through May 6th. There are a variety of different pledge levels, of course. Expected delivery is March of next year. This looks pretty interesting. I'll point out I am not familiar with this podcast. I did go take a peek at the podcast page, and it looks pretty interesting. I don't see. I'll listen to podcasts, but I usually don't listen to dramatic podcasts. it's usually news related or, like gaming related. It's not dramatic. Although I used to listen to We're Alive all the time and never actually finished that up. I think I listened to like 3 seasons of it and then just kind of ran out of gas with me. So, but I think I'm going to check this out. I think I'm going to check out the podcast and give it a listen. So Omenal points out that this Kickstarter's got about 10,000 backers, about double to their previous Kickstarters. I would think that this podcast audience is probably really helping to drive this Kickstarter as well. Looks kind of interesting, got to admit. So, who was it here just asked? Oh, the Madman asked, is it him or does it seem to be a surge in Appalachia settings? Savage Worlds has one, and I've seen it at least one other. I know Old School Essentials has their kind of backwoods sort of fantasy role-playing adventure. So, yeah, I think there is a bit of that. I think there's also a bit of a look towards, like, folk horror. I think we're seeing a bit more of that in role-playing game releases as well. Omenal points out that they just went and picked up Dungeon Crawl Classics yesterday. I like DCC. I think it's a cool system. So I guess we know who our DCC Adventure reviewer is going to be now that Omenal owns the core book. So Omenal says they blame the Mothman and Jersey Devil for the uptake. It's kind of funny. I have been to New Jersey, like in that Barrens area. It is creepy. It's like, forests these days aren't like forests were in, like Revolutionary era. I mean, they were like primordial forests. Now it's kind of like, But what is it? The Pine Barrows? Is that what it's called? Or Pine Barrens? I forget. I dropped off an RV in New Jersey and I just happened to be nearby. And I was kind of like walking around because I had time to waste before I was going to catch. I think I was catching a train to New York to catch a flight back here. All right, moving right along. Modiphius Entertainment has revealed a new Roman era mythos role-playing game. Here's the latest on Cohors Cthulhu. Mighty warriors of Rome and their barbarian foes join forces to battle nameless horrors from beyond space and time. Cohors Cthulhu is a setting for Lovecraftian horror set against the backdrop of epic heroism, intrigue, and strife in the era of ancient Rome. Cohors Cthulhu will allow players to discover hidden truths behind pivotal historical events, as well as the myths and legends of the peoples in this time. Magic exists, available through belief and prayer in capricious gods. And behind the clash of mortals is a greater conflict between vast and malevolent powers competing to either subjugate humanity or shape its civilizations to suit their own sinister agendas. Cohors Cthulhu is set in the same universe as the Achtung Cthulhu 2D20 tabletop role-playing game, this time introducing adventurers to an era of daring gladiators, valiant centurions, and brave Germanic heroes. You are fighting a hidden war on the fringes of the Roman Empire. Far up on the northern border, Romans and Germanic tribes clash in the dark and forbidding forests that cover these lands. Soon, however, you'll have to band together to stem the invading forces of an insidious cult and its swarm of abhorrent creatures from the deep cosmos. Cohors Cthulhu puts you on the front lines of the known world in the 2nd century, using fire, steel, and ancient technology to fight eldritch horrors. You'll arrive in the troubled Roman frontier town of Lurium, the archetypal walled fort that sits on the border between civilization and the mysterious, foreboding lands. Smoky taverns filled with dangerous vagabonds swirl with gossip and whispers of terrifying creatures, strange ruins, and haunted forests in 2nd century Northern Europe. Barbaric Germanic tribesmen prowl the thick woodland, but are they the only thing the Romans should be worried about? This is a cinematic RPG driven by the 2D20 system, also seen in Modiphius' Dune, Star Trek Adventures, Dishonored, and Fallout role-playing games. This is based on the Achtung Cthulhu edition of 2D20 and will feature systems to help get you playing the moment you open the book. There's also going to be a narrative war game designed to be playable solo and cooperatively. The game will also get you on the table playing from page 1, while a campaign will unveil the full story of this epic hidden war. There's also going to be a complete miniatures line scaled for 28mm to be comparable with other major historical lines and provide plenty of heroes, creatures, and strange factions battling for the ancient world. And there's also going to be a fiction series, including a complete Cohors Cthulhu novel and an anthology of short stories following the exploits of a host of characters seen throughout the products. Don't have any release dates. I do not have any MSRPs. I don't have exact titles of these releases as well. So, as I get more information, stay tuned because I will bring it to you. So, this looks pretty cool. I like the Roman era Lovecraftian mythos stuff. I know it's not officially, if I remember right, I don't think it's officially a Chaosium product. I think it's part of the, the repository. But they've got a series that's based in ancient Rome that has done really well, and people have said it's actually very, very cool. Omenal points out the forests of the U.S. can be pretty creepy if you haven't grown up there, especially when you can't hear or see civilization. Yes, that is very true. Thankfully, as a kid, we had some forests nearby, but I mean, not like primordial forest. But we used to go, cut through the forest and stuff like that. So it wasn't like, as an adult, it's like, oh my gosh, what is that? Badman says that there's the Nain Rouge in Michigan, a legendary creature of ill temper and disdain for Detroit. All right. On my final news piece, now available in PDF, is the Traveler Field Catalog. Here's the skinny from Mongoose Publishing. The Field Catalog presents a selection of weaponry and equipment to suit all budgets and requirements, from handguns to grav tanks, from boots to starships. For those wanting something special, the weapon design system puts custom firepower in the hands of your mercenaries. Balance knockdown power against armor penetration and magazine capacity. Magazine capacity against the ability to get a shot on target before the opposition fires back. This book also has rules for situations the average traveler never encounters. Chemical warfare, standoff missile attacks, artillery bombardment, and maneuvering under fire on a low-gravity planetoid. Among the force multipliers and problem solvers in the Field Catalog are distraction grenades, auto-hacking intrusion devices, and thermal concealment coverings. Personal weaponry ranges from the ubiquitous Mark I handgun to top-end Gauss sniping weapons. For those with a bigger budget, the Field Catalog presents a range of vehicles with options packages. The basic Negav 10-wheel truck is a humble logistics vehicle, but for a few thousand credits more, it can become a mobile headquarters or improvised ground assault platform. The S-Series Grav platform can transport troops to the battle area or provide support with its autocannon and blackjack gun missile system. The very richest commanders can travel in style aboard the Gravitas skiff or take command of a shadow gunship for more direct action. Right now, you can pre-order the 208-page hardcover from Mongoose Publishing for $49.99. Or you can grab the PDF. It is available right now at DriveThru RPG for $29.99. Tessie Trekky's talking about in Australia, they have drop bears. Oh, yeah, I've heard all about them drop bears. Oberdall says people freak out seeing the banana spiders with their giant webs. All right, that is it for the news tonight. I was just talking about Drive-Thru RPG. Don't forget, the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit Drive-Thru RPG or any of the other One Bookshelf sites, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. All those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do go a long way to keeping thegaminggang.com around. Also, all this week, it is affiliate week over at the One Bookshelf sites. So if you do make a purchase, it is double the commission. Instead of 3 cents, it's 6 cents. I'm just teasing. A lot of people out there really do use those links a lot, and they really do help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also, if you like this video, if you dig the channel, if you find the Gaming Gang to be a valuable resource, by all means, you can always drive by. English, Jeff. English. Use the English words. Use the words you have. You can always stop by, you can always drive by paypal.me. Hey, what's going on, PayPal? You can always stop by paypal.me/the Gaming Gang and make a small donation. You can buy me a cup of coffee or some soda. And a big thank you to everybody out there who either uses the banner ads over on the website or you swing over to paypal.me. Thank you very much. Bandman says they need to go look at Drive-Thru for some additional content. It's been a while. All right, that is it for the news tonight. So I do want to get into the unboxing of Founders of Teotihuacan. Say that 5 times fast. In a few moments, but I did want to talk about some news that popped up last week. Couple of items. So let's talk about the bad thing first. So I guess it was revealed that Mars Barker, who was the creator of Empire of the Petal Throne, was a Nazi sympathizer and anti-Semite who authored I think it's an anti-Semitic novel in the 1970s. It was like, what? Yeah. And it's funny because I've mentioned a couple of times before on the show that I'm kind of curious about Empire of the Petal Throne or Teotihuacan or whatever it's now known as. It's like the planet or world or whatever. I guess not so much anymore. It's like, jeez. But the weird thing, and I am absolutely not sticking up for anyone's, abhorrent beliefs. But it's tough to pick these things out from people who grew up in a time when there was just far more blatant racism and anti-Semitism than there is today. And trust me, I said it before. Yeah, H.P. Lovecraft, probably not the kind of person I'd want to sit down and have a drink with. Probably not. But it's not like, and I get it. He was pretty ultra racist even for his time. But that was a common thread. So yeah, it's kind of disappointing though. It is kind of disappointing. Testy Trekkie says it's one of the most popular pieces of neo-Nazi literature. Holy cow. I knew nothing about it. And I guess people are really upset because the group that, because Mars Barker passed away quite some time ago. The group that kind of like still publishes the game and everything, and it's, like really built on it, knew all about this and never revealed it. So it's like, oh, okay. Hmm. Nice. So yes, I just found that to be very weird, very just creepy. Ugh. All right. So the other news is we got an announcement of a bunch of new Dungeons and Dragons stuff coming, and of course it stirred up a whole shitstorm with people. So Dragonlance is coming back. Well, at least there's going to be an adventure supplement set in the world of, is it Kryn? I don't know. I was never into Dragonlance. And also, Spelljammer is going to make a comeback, and it's going to be a 3-volume slipcase set. And I've already pointed out publicly that I think it looks extremely pricey for what it is. It is 3 64-page hardcovers. Why? It's like, and a slipcase, a poster map, and a DM screen that looks like it's just cardstock. Kind of like the DM screen you would get in a starter set. And they're going to want $70, $69.95 to be precise. And I was like, what? So something else that got people in a little worked up, at least in the Twitterverse, is that the creators of both Dragonlance, the two creators, I should say, as well as Spelljammer, were not notified by Wizards of the Coast. And people were upset. And I'm sitting there, I think it's like, you folks know Wizards of the Coast owns this. It's their property. It's not. Dragonlance is not Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman's property. It's not their IP. It was work for hire. So that's it. Coco B says Dragonlance is Kryn. Some say it's now cringe. Yeah. Yes. Boy, oh boy. So Omanal is pointing out you only need to take a tour of Dachau and the Killing Fields to see the inhumanity people can have. Oh my gosh. Or look at the civil wars in Africa. Oh, jeez. Mind-boggling. All right. So anyway, so I'm looking forward to checking out this new stuff. In fact, I had received a personal invitation to watch the stream for these D&D announcements, and I had gotten a package. I think I got it right over here. This arrived just completely out of the blue. So this was the package. Of course, it came in another box. It didn't just show up like this. And it was funny. I saw it was from Wizards of the Coast, and I was like, and it was kind of light. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, they don't have anything coming out this month. So it includes a t-shirt. Go for the eyes, boo. That's what it says. It says, go for the eyes, boo. So there is that. And it's the correct size because, around Christmas time, they always ask the reviewers and that what their shirt size is. And then also the figurines of adorable power, the GIF, which will, of course, be going up on the shelves behind me. So, and then like a little proclamation inviting me to tune in to the stream. And I thought, wow, that's really wild. Hang on, let me double check, make sure there wasn't anything else in here. I don't think there was. No, just a ton of this packing stuff that they like to throw in here. But I thought, hey, that was awfully nice of them to send this stuff along. They didn't need to do that. They didn't need to do that at all. Could have just sent me an email saying, hey, don't forget, check out the live stream where we're going to announce a bunch of new stuff. So Omenal says they think the lovers of both of those D&D settings feel the new authors won't have the love and understanding of the original source material. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they're... Forgot to put something back in here. So I see where people are coming from. I'm not sitting there thinking, what's wrong with these people? It's just too many people just don't realize that many of these creators of all these different things signed away their rights years ago and got paid. Just like, I honestly think that the creators of Superman, they got screwed. But the thing was, they got a payment after the fact. When the first Superman movie came out, Warner Brothers made a payment to them. They signed an agreement saying, hey, that's it. We're getting paid. And then, of course, they came back looking for more money. Well, mainly one of them. So, yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily fair, but it is what it is. Anyway, but yeah, there's a lot of new D&D stuff. We got a new starter set that's going to come out. It's going to carry an MSRP of $20. So that's very nice. I like the 2 starter sets that Wizards of the Coast has done. I think they're excellent beginner boxes. I think the Essentials kit is awesome. I think the Adventure is really good. And of course, the original starter set, a hell of a lot of value packed into that little box. So, pretty sweet. Omenal says, of course, there are weird laws and 60 years after the creation. Yeah, look at all the Marvel characters. Look at Jack Kirby. He got screwed. Big time. All right, anyway, so that is it about some things that had caught my eye while I was off last week. And you may have noticed I still had some videos popping up. So it wasn't like I was like on vacation or something. Just taking a little break from the show. All right, I'm going to dive into the unboxing in just a moment. But first, I think it's time for a short intermission.
You have time to visit the snack bar before the feature picture starts. So visit the snack bar now to pick up a little something to nibble on or sip on, like crisp, hot, buttery popcorn, or a sparkling, tasty, refreshing soft drink, and a wide selection of tempting, delicious candy.
We're interviewing a stomach.
Hello there.
What is life like as a stomach?
Oh, boy, it was humdrum. I mean, until what's-his-name discovered Tony's Pizza.
Tony's Pizza?
Yeah, I was suffering from the pizza cravings until Tony's came along. Crispy crust and zesty sauces. Wow.
And so now... What's that?
Another pizza craving. Just thinking about Tony sets it off.
Oh, where are you going?
He's going to get a Tony's Pizza. And I, anyway.
Does your stomach send you pizza craving signals? Oh, wow. Tony's, the Pizza Cravers Pizza. Available at the concession stand.
Hey, son of a gun! refreshment time!
Hopefully none of you out there dropped any acid or took any LSD prior to that intermission, because you would be tripping. It's like, what's going on with that? Omel says, food meets Monty Python. Yes. It actually reminded me that last Pepsi little intermission cartoon reminded me of some of the, I'm going way back, but when I was a small kid, probably talking early to mid 70s, you had these like posters that you would like paint or use markers to color in, and they were always like super trippy. It's like, so it reminds me of, and then when the cow turns into the hamburger, it's like, what? All right. So tonight I am going to take a first look at Founders of Teotihuacan from Board and Dice. It is designed by Philip Glowitz and artwork is provided by Troy de Leon, Odysseus Stanislaw, and Alexander Zawada. And I apologize. I guarantee I've probably mispronounced everybody's name there. This game is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up. Plays around 45 to 60 minutes. Kind of surprised. It's a board and dice game. Usually their play time's a bit longer than that. And I think it's actually 60 minutes on the box. It's going to carry an MSRP of $50 when it arrives in stores this week and next. Yes. Doug Roberts says, yes, my stomach does give me pizza cravings all the time. Yeah, those were some weird little intermissions there. Tomorrow's is going to be kind of bizarre too. All right. Anyway, let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Founders of Teotihuacan. It's a tile laying game. So let's get the shrink wrap off first. Do want to point out the fine folks over at Board and Dice were kind enough to provide me with this review copy. But of course, neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the gaming gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this first look with you. All right, taking a peek at the back here. Travel back in time to the founding of one of the greatest cities of Mesoamerica and become a part of its history once again. Design the foundations of a great pre-Columbian civilization with its buildings, temples, and a grand pyramid in the center. Find perfect locations for production buildings and great temples, and build the might of the Great Pyramid overlooking your city. Establish yourself as the very best among competing architects, and your project will secure you a spot among the great founders of Teotihuacan. All right, I'm not going to read all of this on the back. Just wanted to kind of give you a feel. Doug Roberts has Mayan, Aztec, Egyptian, Mesoamerican, which happens to be kind of a theme that Board and Dice happens to use a lot. They like their Aztecs, their Mayans, stuff like that. Omel says they remember watching TV in Iraq, watching cooking shows like porn because they missed the good meals so much. All right, let's dive on in here, see what we've got. So we've got a bunch of cubes. So we've got brown, gray, and yellow. And we've got another packet of the same cubes. Got a bunch of different colored discs. It's like an 8-sided die. It is an 8-sided die. Some more discs. These no doubt are for the players. Because I see we've got these meeples here in the 4 colors that correspond with those as well. Right, so we got the rule book. And then we have a solo mode. And the rule book's pretty short. I'll tell you that right now. Let's dive on in. Take a peek here. See what we've got. So we get a breakdown of the components. So we've got gold, stone, wood. We have temple tiles, mask tiles, pyramid tiles. So the cubes are our resources, gold, stone, and wood. Talking about the game setup. And then we have the structure of play. I have to point out, usually the heavier Euros from Board and Dice are pretty involved. They tend to pack a lot into their games. So my understanding is this is a little bit lighter than what you're probably used to seeing from Board and Dice. Although I got to admit, looks like there's quite a lot going on in the rules. So we have a build action. So you can construct a temple. You can construct the pyramid. We have influence actions producing resources, making an offer that you can't refuse, gaining favor, and ending the turn. Talking about ending the round and setting up for the next round. Final scoring. Looks like we've got some examples here as well. So it looks as if the scoring is based on a continuation of your temples, your different buildings, is what it kind of looks like. And then we got appendices here. Okay, bonus discs and pyramid rewards. And then we show all the various different worship tiles that are included in the game. So those are the rules. What do we have? 16 pages of rules before we got to the appendix. Yeah, effectively about 16. There's our final scoring right there. Kind of cool. All right, let's take a look. We got the solo mode. So it's showing us the solitaire setup. Components are the same. Nothing's going to change. It says the single 8-sided die is actually the founder die. So that is that's used for the solo variant. So discussing playing the solo game and how to win the solo game. At the end of the game, check the challenge conditions. If there's any condition that you have failed to meet, you lose. If you meet all of them, you count your victory points normally. The first founder's bot does not score any victory points. And that gives you kind of a breakdown of how well you've done based on your number of victory points. Sweet. Okay, so solo mode and the rule book. Let's see what else we've got. We've got a bunch of punch boards. In fact, I think this is all punch boards because I think the players get their own boards. I'm going to punch that out here. And then this one here. Because I think each player is going to get this. That is going to be their player board. And I think this is where, Oh, no, wait, I take that back. This is a center board because it looks like you're going to put all your different tiles here. So that is the center board, or what, maybe supply board. So that's that. Here we go. These are the boards that each of the players are going to get. Just like so. Just like that. And this is where they're going to start laying out different types of buildings. So it almost has a bit of a Tetris look to the various different pieces. So we've got 4 of these. Yep, because it's 4 players, so we got 4 of those. So then we get the different kinds of tiles. They are dual-sided, nice and chunky. These are like 1.5 inch, about 1.25 inches. So got those. We've got these. I think in the rules it said these were the worship tiles. So they all have something a little bit different. These were mask tiles. These are the buildings that you're building. So as you can see, they have little kind of like geometric shapes. So we've got more of these. These are now a different color. These are blue. The others were green. We've got these as well. Here we've got our resources. So this was the gold, stone, and wood. So we have more masks. More of the buildings and the different shapes. And more of the resources here as well. And then we have more buildings. So I think these are buildings. Well, they all look like buildings, though. So maybe these aren't. Maybe I don't think they're making buildings out of gold. But of course, stone and wood, sure. I don't know, maybe these are like more for the elites or something like that. All right, so we've got all of these punch boards. We've got our 4-player boards. We've got our center board. Let's put all this stuff back here. We have our 2 rule books. So one of them is for the solitaire mode, and the other is just the game rule book. We've got a bunch of cubes, discs, and our 8-sided die for the solitaire play. And that's what we find when we take everything from Founders of Teotihuacan outside the box. I will hopefully have a review of this in the near future, especially since this is a lot lighter looking than most of the board and dice titles that come out. So, sweet. So we will be taking a look at this in more depth down the line. All right, let's swing on over to the other camera because, here we go. That's going to be it for tonight's show. Once again, Founders of Teotihuacan from Board and Dice is making its way into stores right now. So you can check with your friendly local game store or your favorite online retailer to see if it's available. So what is cooking the rest of the week? Well, tomorrow night, we are going to take a first look and page through Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, The Horned Rat. Yes, this arrived. It is finally in print. We're going to take a peek at Chapter 4 of the Enemy Within Director's Cut for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay from my friends over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment. So we will be taking a peek at that. And then on Wednesday's show, we are going to take a first look and page through Beowulf, Age of Heroes from Handiworks Games. This is a 5e derived role-playing game, and it is for one-on-one play. So it is for one player and one game master. So we are going to dive on in and take a peek at this on Wednesday's show. All right. So there you have it. If you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already, and if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings, right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. It'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my recent first look at Pathfinder, Book of the Dead from Paizo Inc. Yes, good stuff. This looks really interesting. I have not cracked this open to read yet, but it's got a lot of stuff to appeal to a lot of different players, game masters, and so on. So there's a lot cooking under the hood here. So I am looking forward to sharing my review, but I did a first look. So by all means, check that out if you haven't. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Everybody who's watching live, thank you very much. It's nice to be back. It was also nice to have a week off of not doing shows. Just being like, yeah, you know, I can just kick it around here. I can eat dinner a little later than usual. That was nice. I liked that. Anyway. If you took part in chat, thank you as well. Of course, you're earning those extra experience points. Who knows? Level 3 is around the corner. You keep watching. Right. Like people are into, like badges and things like that. Achievements. Start doing that for the stream. Boop. Here's your achievement. 50 streams you've watched. Boop. All right. So I know a lot of people out there, they don't have an opportunity to watch this live or any of the videos live. That's okay. All that matters is you take some time out of your busy life and you stop by and you checked out one of the videos on the channel, which has gained over 1 million views. Sweet. So I will be back tomorrow night. We're going to be taking a look at The Horned Rat. And of course, as always, here's wishing each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. Check out the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, or find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks for watching.